Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mayor and City Council meeting Monday, May 13th, 2024. If you'd please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, we have approval of the minutes of the April 3rd, 2024 and April 8th, 2024 regular meetings in the April 8th, 2024 closed session. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking second. Any additional comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Next up, we have oath of office for Willie Buntley and Dakota Myers. You guys will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dakota Myers,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland
faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
and that I will, to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the position of police officer for the city of Taneytown,
execute the position of police officer for the city of Taneytown,
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
Congratulations. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Simon.
Congratulations, everybody. Again, thanks for coming out. Next up, we have council member statement regarding conflicts of interest on agenda items. Would any council members like to make any statements regarding that?
Nope.
Hearing none, I am proceeding down to resolution ordinances and agreements. First, we have introduction ordinance 04-2024, establishment of information technology department. Jim, is there anything you need in regards to this, or are we good?
Just, we talked a little bit about this Wednesday, and this is our first draft. City attorney's made some suggestions already that'll be incorporated when it's in your packets for next month.
Jim, can I just ask a question? Is it necessary to make him a department head in order to switch him over to a salary employee?
No.
I'm just wondering, because I know we've talked in the past about kind of changing some of the code, some of the verbiage. Wouldn't it make more sense to hold off adding more department heads than, and just kind of switching him over to a salary?
That is certainly an option. The IT department, I think, is going to continue to grow.
And I'm sure, but I would kind of like to wait until we have some more stability in our charter and codes and everything as far as employees go.
Understood.
And again, like I said, I'm not trying to take away that change
that-
for his
that-
salary at all, so I don't know that it would, I don't know if his title is more important than the paycheck, so.
Yeah. And that
Is
can
that something
certainly
we
be an
can-
option B to explore. So,
We'll get it to department head eventually, maybe a year from now.
okay.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council?
So is there a, maybe I missed it, I was not in my office much today. Was there a copy of the ordinance distributed?
Yes, and it's added in the packet as well.
Okay, all right.
Further questions, comments, concerns by council? Hearing none, proceeding forward. Adoption ordinance 01-2024 fiscal year 2024-2025 operating budget. Jim, do you want to?
So
Lead off.
we had some discussion Wednesday about possibly delaying this until after this evening's closed session in the event that there might be changes to the budget. So we certainly can carry this over to next month if we wish. So we still could, I can't imagine that anything is going to, that we discussed tonight is going to alter the water and sewer rate or the tax rate. If we did want to go ahead and do that, I mean, usually we do them all at once as kind of a batch, but I don't think, as I said, I don't think that we're talking about anything that's going to change the water rates or the tax rate if we want to move forward with them.
Roger.
I think it may be wise to carry it over to June if it's not gonna cramp us too much. Now, if I need to make a motion to that effect, I will.
Do we need a motion, or do you just want a consensus to carry over to June? Or do we even need?
I would feel better about a motion, just to have it in the minutes that way.
I'll second.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries. Oh, all those opposed say nay. Apologies. Carries. Next up, we have ordinance 02-2024 fiscal year 2024-2025 water and sewer rate. Looking for a motion in regards to
Move
that.
to approve.
Looking for a second.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, or further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Next up, we have ordinance 03-2024 fiscal year 2024-2025 tax rate. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
I'll make that motion
To approve.
to approve that, or to approve the tax rate, Cosneal tax rate.
Looking for a second.
I will second.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Carries. Next up, we have resolution 2024-07 water allocation for May. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Move to approve the water allocations for May.
Looking for a second.
I'll second the motion.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. City manager report. Jim, you got anything additional?
Not at this time.
I had a question from a constituent regarding the bulk trash day and why we only had one. Is there a reason we only do it once, or, I mean, I know we don't want to get involved in doing this like every month, but would it be served by a spring and fall? Just asking the question because I was asked.
We certainly can revisit it. The last time or two that we did a spring and a fall, we found that the fall one, we didn't collect very much material. And it didn't seem worth the effort and the expense of having all the compactor trucks come out
Right.
for it. So, I mean, it's been a few years though, so.
Yeah, we might have a few more residents than we did the last time we did it. So just something to consider. There was a lot of chatter about it a couple of weeks ago on the Facebook pages, and I was directly asked the question, so.
Is there any additional stuff we'd have to do to add a second one?
No,
Or
just.
Delegate it out?
I mean, it's an expense that's, thought about it for the budget, but, we certainly could revisit that, as we get into next year.
Who brings the compactor trucks out? Is that from the county? The county bring the compactors out, or are those
No,
ours?
it's our hauler. It's Ecology Services.
Okay.
They basically arrange
So we have to
for-
pay them to bring the
Yes,
additional
yes.
trucks out, and then we have to pay
And then we
public
pay a
works people.
tipping fee as well, so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Would
tipping
you-
fees and
Would you
all.
like for discussion for next meeting?
Is it worth putting on the agenda to discuss at the next workshop?
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and.
Thank
put it
you.
down for then. Did you have any additional comments?
No, that was the only thing that was, I said my piece last week, last week.
Jim, was there any additional stuff for department reports?
No, not unless there were questions.
Questions, comments, concerns from council?
What was I gonna, is there a reason why we're kind of putting off this street sweeper thing? I know you've kind of left it very vague. I mean, do we want to get a street sweeper or not? I guess is my question.
I guess the question was, do we want to give our current vendor more time to see if they can improve the performance, or do we just want to,
I mean, I feel like it's been a long time.
right?
And I wouldn't even care if they finished out their contract, because I think there's going to be a period of, kind of figuring out how we want to do it anyway.
Well, I don't have their contract in front of me, but it's a multi-year contract, I believe, so we're not close to the end of that contract period. So we would be looking to get out of the contract based on their failure to perform,
Okay.
Adequately per the terms of
Is
the
there
contract.
But that's
a
in our
termination for
contract anyway.
convenience clause in their contract?
No.
There isn't.
I think there's a lot of pros and cons to this. I think it might be a good thing to put on the agenda for the workshop and just hash it out. I mean, it's not like something we got to do tomorrow, right?
You said we do have something there for performance base, right?
But there's
It's a default.
some real advantages I see and some real disadvantages that I see, so.
The term is up in 2025, so you have to live with it for a year unless you go with the default, which there are provisions in there where they are defaulting because they're not providing the quality of service. But there are obviously procedures you have to follow to say, I'm giving you notice of a default and an opportunity to cure. So we have to.
Well, let's at least start that clock on the opportunity to cure then. Don't you think we ought to do that, Jim? Or do you want to give them one last chance? I mean, this is your,
Right. I would like to see how they perform next week and make a decision next month on whether we give them formal notice.
Can we make sure it gets on the agenda for June then?
Again, I think we should be calling the shots when they arrive, when they depart, and when they sweep, and when they don't sweep, and not just leave it up to them to do it whenever that's convenient for them. And I think that maybe the approach we should take is says we're considering buying our own equipment, but if you can prove to us you can do the job we want done, maybe we won't. And then it'll be this time next year to talk about it.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I would maybe inform them that they are going down the road to default.
Right. I would basically like to have that conversation with them. And we'll see how that goes and see
Let's just put it for further discussion in June.
next month. Okay.
Additional questions, comments, concerns regarding department reports, city manager report? Jay?
Yeah, I have a bunch of things for you. We spent a lot of time this month drafting the title work for the Riffles Lane Storm Drain Project. You've heard all about that. That there's 7 properties, maybe 8 involved. And right now, all the deeds are done. They're all with Clara. What we're waiting for is the city manager to get the final plat drawing from the engineer or surveyor. So once that happens, then we can go out and get them to sign, and then we can go ahead with that project. So that's been a big file on Clara's desk that got removed. It's a big week for meetings this week. The Ethics Board is meeting this week to go over the financial disclosure forms for last year, so 2023's financial disclosure forms. There is a waiver request on their agenda as well. One individual does not want to file those. And then there will be a closed session to deal with an ethics complaint that was received. So that's happening. The Board of Zoning Appeals is finally holding its hearing for the Evapco project. That was an important thing. This is the off-site parking part of the Evapco thing. So that's that's happening. And then the Planning Commission is going to have a work session this week. So the work session is going to be on their duties, roles, responsibilities, and open meetings. So if you're interested, you can probably talk to Chairman Parker and see how he feels. We're trying to make sure we don't have any open meeting problems because it's a work problem. But if you're interested, talk to Chairman Parker. And then I have 3 issues for you when we go into closed session to deal with tonight.
Questions, comments, concerns regarding legal report?
Is the minor subdivision over on Ridge Avenue, is that also coming before the BZA this week?
No, this is just, the only one I'm aware of is the VAPCO.
Okay.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, proceeding down to monthly financial report. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
I move to approve the monthly financial report.
Looking for a second. Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Accounts payables, looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking for a second.
Second.
Any further questions, comments, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Approval of lead and copper rule proposal. Jim, do you want a motion for this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Approval of proposal Cunningham Recreation for Memorial Park Tot Lot Playground Replacement. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking for a second. Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Contract award THS Park Athletic Field Lighting Installation. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking for a second.
Second.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Approval of special event permit Good News Club, July 1st through July 5th, 2024. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Make a motion to approve the Good News Club's permit.
Looking for a second.
I'll second that.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. FY '25, FY '30 Capital Improvement Program. We'll see this in a resolution format next month.
Right.
As it was presented as a draft. Any comments, questions, concerns regarding that from council?
Yes, there'll be a final on that next month
Yes.
to be running for approval? Okay.
Yep. We'll have the executive summary put together and everything for next month
thank
and the resolution.
A lot of information in that report. I'm not comfortable I've digested it all yet. That's,
And much of it is our projects that you've seen in previous years. They're just, advancing, and as we talked about Wednesday night, some of them have been adjusted to, be a little farther out in the future than originally planned. But for the most part, they're projects that have been, out there on the horizon in the plan for the last few years. And again, in your packet, in the exhibit that, let's see, not the project detail, but the exhibit that's in chart form, on the final page of that, it does give you kind of a breakdown, a summary of the changes between the FY '24 and FY '25 plan. So that might help kind of guide a little bit what the changes are. We haven't added a lot of new projects, partly because we are looking at a bit of a dry spell on the development pipeline, which means kind of a dry spell on water and sewer benefit assessment revenue. And with the way prices have been escalating on construction materials, we kind of want to get some more of the projects in the next year or two wrapped up before we start putting things out there that until we're sure that we'll be able to afford to do them, or we're relatively confident we'll be able to afford to do them. So there aren't a lot of new projects like that have added on for FY30 at this point. I think Parks is probably the most aggressive in projecting out that far. So, but again, it'll be back before you next month.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, proceeding forward. Approval of comprehensive plan consultant proposal. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking for a second.
Second.
Can we specify the vendor
Motion
as?
to approve the comprehensive plan consulting proposal.
Carroll contract.
Carroll.
Carroll Consulting. You wanted that specific?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Approval of proposal for Westview Drive water line replacement design. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
Motion to approve.
Looking for a second.
I second that contract approval.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Next up, we have nomination to Board of Zoning Appeals, Stephen Nick Kollenok. Did I butcher it again? I apologize. Horrible with names. Looking for a motion in regards to that.
I move to approve Mr. Kallenbach.
Looking for a second.
I will second. Oh, okay.
Any further comments, questions, concerns by council? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. Welcome to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Welcome to the team.
Councilmember reports, starting with Councilmember Tillman.
Hi, I was not able to attend the most recent Planning Commission meeting. Was serving Ebbelskivers at the Taste of Carroll fundraiser, which was a great time and a great cause. So I was happy to be there, but sorry I missed the meeting. The two big things are in front of us right now. The Planning Commission update to the comprehensive plan. I am pleased that we approved that contract today and that we are going to move forward with that. I am very, very excited about moving forward with the comprehensive plan. The other big item I think that came out of the last Planning Commission meeting was the recommendations to the Board of Zoning Appeals. It was recommended for approval for the Evapco parking lot, and I see no issue with that. Certainly the nature of that part of the city has changed. It's no longer really a residential part of the city. It's really an industrial zone. I know there's one or two houses still left in there, but if we want to continue to expand our industrial base here in Taneytown, this is truly a necessary thing. The other Board of Zoning Appeals recommendation that came before the Planning Commission I was opposed to and remain opposed to due to the variance on lot sizes. The lots that are proposed are too small, and if you drive back in there, you're hard pressed to find where those lots would go and how you would squeeze two houses on any vacant space back there. And they certainly wouldn't go with the nature of the houses, especially the ones across the street. There's a lot of pretty good sized houses on much larger lots across the street, and I think it materially changes the nature of the neighborhood, at least that section of the neighborhood. Now, there are similar sized lots on Commerce Street, but those lots predate the current zoning, And I see no reason to, if we have a zoning code for a reason, I see no reason to abandon it just to build 2 houses. So that's the end of my report.
Councilmember Cheney?
Well, I've got a big one. So, are you ready for this? I mean, it's like the Cheney show here. I have the police department report. Lots of training happening, lots of things going on. I'm going to start with community events and outreach. The officers attended several lethality assessment meetings at Springboard headquarters. And that's something that helps the department connect with domestic violence survivors and get them resources and assistance that they need. The department also collected items for the Humane Society after 40-plus animals were displaced. They donated over 30 bicycles to Free Bikes for Kids that will be refurbished and distributed to children in need. And then in an effort to be transparent with the community we serve and to keep citizens updated on current cases and events, administrative personnel have increased the department's online social media presence. Their Facebook page has reached 227,000 people in the last 90 days, which is a 97% increase since last year. A new contracted service through their employee assistance program is a voluntary work-based program through Branch of Hope LLC that offers free and confidential assessments, short-term counseling, referrals, and follow-up services to employees who have personal and/or work-related problems. Many employee assistance programs are active in helping organizations prevent and cope with workplace violence, trauma, and other emergency response situations. As far as training goes, Officer Blaze received radar and LiDAR operators course provided by the MPCTC. And Private First Class Myers received patrol rifle operators course training and provided the patrol rifle operators course to student officers from Hampstead Police and Westminster City Police. As far as certification, promotions, and awards, Private First Class Eccles has received provisional academic and general education instructor certification. Sergeant Schultz has completed the training coordinator orientation and is assuming department training coordinator duties. Haley Ingalls received her NTHSA Child Passenger Safety Technician certification. And Lieutenant Castellar is now a member of the Maryland Municipal League as the police Executive Association. For property and evidence, in partnership with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, the Property and Evidence Room has been organized and updated. Over 30 firearms of various kinds have been released back to their respective owners. A large load of items was taken to the Wheel Labrador for incineration that had no evidentiary value or met the statute of limitations. The remaining evidence has been properly organized and documented for safekeeping. License plate recognition equipment has been installed on 2 patrol vehicles. And because of this, officers have been able to identify and recover several stolen vehicles. Major incidents, this is from the last 6 months. December 17th, there was a home invasion. 2 suspects were charged with home invasion, malicious destruction of property, burglary in the 3rd degree, and burglary in the 1st degree. On March 1st, a search and seizure warrant we assisted the Carroll County Sheriff's Office with the apprehension and search warrant of a subject wanted for armed robbery, drug, and firearm-related charges. On March 26th, there was an armed barricaded suspect. Again, in conjunction with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, we apprehended a suspect from the residence after a standoff with police from the previous night. And on April 28th, shots were fired with assistance from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and Maryland State Police. There was a successful apprehension of a subject who discharged his weapon in a domestic-related suicide attempt. The suspect was charged with assault in the 2nd degree, 2 counts, regular firearm illegal possession, assault weapon possession, illegal possession of ammunition, and 2 counts of rifle shotgun possession disqualified. Exciting news, for the first time in over 2 decades, the Taneytown Police Department is proud to announce that we have a K-9 unit that will specialize in tracking, narcotics detection, and article searches. K-9 Trigger is a black Labrador retriever that will be a valuable partner to his handler, Private First Class Eccles. This is a huge accomplishment that will benefit our community and beyond. In the last 6 months, the department has concentrated on retention and expansion. They retained their administrative staffing and obtained 4 police officers, taking our department from 8 sworn officers to 12. Again, they established a contract with Branch of Hope for their 2-year annual assessment. They have contracted Lexipol to continue their policy and procedure updates to ensure we are compliant with federal and state laws. In March, TPD had a juvenile compliance monitoring site visit by the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention and Policy. It was determined that the facility is in full compliance. In April, MPCTC personnel performed an on-site selection standard process audit, which the department passed, and they have obtained new scheduling software from PACE to ensure efficiency. Over the last 6 months, officers have responded to 1,439 calls for service. That is a 53% increase from last year. There have been a combined total of 69 adult and juvenile arrests since the beginning of the year. In the past 6 months, we have had a 167% increase in state citations issued and a 101% increase in city citations issued, totaling to 137 issued from January to March this year. Officers wrote 805 warnings from January to March. That is a 227% increase year to date. And I think that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Your turn.
I think I spent Wednesday night talking about most of what we did, but when I met with Mish this month, our main focus was on getting control of the funds for Main Street. And we had a pretty long conversation about how important it was to make sure we knew what we were doing. Particularly moving forward. The condition of the reports we received from the Community Association was less than desirable, and I don't know that we did a whole lot to try to organize them before we turned them over to Main Street, which was unfortunate. The absence of the Visa card statement and having no accountability with our Visa card is a huge red flag. We need a balanced report every month. Part of our financial reports, I think, to be able to track these funds, to be able to accurately say what we're doing and when we're doing it. I think once we get on that established pattern, when we establish the pattern of true accountability for Main Street, then if we have issues or if this uncovers issues that we may be concerned about from past years, it'd be appropriate to even go back and look into some of that kind of stuff. It just looks like a black hole in our financial accounting that is here that shouldn't be. I mean, I don't know how we can, I mean, I asked Jim about this. There's really no auditing oversight for this. And there's got to be. There's got to be some way that we can maintain this. How we proceed with these funds in the future is up to council's direction, I suppose. But in the meantime, we got to know what they are and where they're going and why they're going there. So I think Mish understands my position and council's position on the need for better accountability, and he's pledged to do that. So I'm looking forward to better things there. We talked about some of the developments around town, which are pretty exciting. We've got a new ice cream store, and we've got a barbecue truck that may grow into something more than a barbecue truck. We don't know. Melissa Mose, again, seems to be doing okay. And just generally, I see I noticed coming through town this Saturday, I guess it was the chalk day, and we had balloons up and people in the streets, and I was kind of pleased with what I saw that way. So I see good spots, but the lack of control is a spot that we really need to focus on and make sure we move forward in the right direction. And that's about all I had for the economic development.
Thank you. Councilmember Foster?
Under Public Works, the latest issue, of course, is the street sweeping that we will discuss later. I personally think we ought to fire the contract that we have and buy our own truck, but that remains to be seen as we discuss it. That's the latest thing with Public Works. Silver Oak Academy is still transitioning to whatever they're going to transition to, but rest assured it will not be, the city, I think, will not have the involvement that they had when it was Silver Oak Academy. It's going to be more private. They're going to take students that more than likely will not be allowed to leave the facility. So that severs our relationship with them. But they're still in the process of transitioning. Habitat for Humanity will be having a ribbon cutting for the 2 new homes in mid-June. The date to be determined. And I will make sure the mayor and council is aware of that date. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Councilmember Fuller?
All right, Saturday, May 4th, we had our annual fishing derby. We had a total of 50 contestants, which was down from 119 last year, but the weather definitely had an effect on it. Many thanks to all the volunteers who measured fish and manned the registration tables, and to the sponsors Berserker Lures and Thunderhead Bowl, and then to the FSK Junior Eagles Soccer for providing the free hot dogs and drinks to all the contestants. There were some great prize-winning catches. I was surprised at how big some of those fish were. Some of them were 12 inches.
Bad days make good fishing.
Yep. The next event's going to be our spring flea market, which is this Saturday from 9 to 2 at Memorial Park. The weather is a 50-50 iffy. So I know that in the past we have had it in the rain. If there's going to be any changes, I would watch the Facebook page or reach out to Lorena and see. But I plan on being out there. And a quick note on Bollinger Park. We're getting visitors from the greater community as well as our own, but there were some people spotted metal detecting near the meadow, the pollinator meadow last week. They left before police could be called, but we just want to remind everyone that metal detecting is not allowed in any of the parks without express written permission from the city. And there are rules and regulations on the signage at all the parks. So we just ask that you respect those if you're going to be utilizing our parks. And that is it.
Sounds good. Thank you. Somebody correct me if I get the dates wrong. We have Memorial Day Parade, May 27th, and Wine Festival, June 8th. No, sure.
I don't have my calendar up, I'm sorry.
I think it's before we get to June 8th.
It'll be after our first meeting.
So if you got time, come out and show up to those events. Other than that, I got a presiding officer's closing statement to read off before we adjourn for the night. On May 13th, 2024, at 8:09 PM at City Hall, in accordance to the Maryland Open Meetings Act, Title 10, Governmental Procedures, Subtitle 5, Meetings, Section 3-305B. This meeting will be closed as closed only to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. In addition to that, we will also be going to closed sessions to consult with to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. The following is a listing of the topics to be discussed. We have 3-305B1I employee salary increases to discuss specific employee compensation matters, and citation 3-305B7 pending legal issues to obtain legal advice. I am looking for a motion to adjourn into closed session. Does that mean legal sufficiency? Looking for a motion to go into closed session, or to adjourn into closed session.
I move we adjourn into closed session.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Carries. We are adjourned, and we'll be moving into closed session with 5-minute recess before then. Thank you.
We will not be reconvening in open session, correct, Mayor?
Correct. We will not be reconvening in open session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.